This is the only vehicle I have ever driven that comes with a built-in booster seat for your toddler, and that's just one of the many really cool features of the Volvo XC90 Recharge. This is a plug-in hybrid, and I'm doing a road trip today to do a cost comparison between my Tesla Model Y and a plug-in hybrid SUV. So this has combined power of somewhere around 533 horsepower. But then right now, I'm able to drive fully on electric power from the 18.8 kilowatt hour battery pack that is in this vehicle. So I'm fully on electricity, which I love. I don't like when plug-in hybrids don't have a fully electric feature that lets you fully drive on electric. The only other one I've driven that lets you do that is the plug-in Prius, which you can floor that car and it will go in electric mode until the battery runs out. This car, if you floor it, the engine will kick in to give you the full power. So that's fine, I can give it a pass there, but I'm just curious to see, we're gonna do a trip up to Jerome, Arizona. So we're going from about 1,100 feet elevation all the way up to 7,000 feet elevation. It's 73 degrees down here. There's snow at the top of the mountain. And we are going to see the cost difference. We are also going to see the real world range of the vehicle. It says we left with 380 miles of range and I think 31 miles of electric power. And then the Tesla, I think it said 278 or 9 miles of range. So this is a brutal test because it's a lot of uphill. We are going to see the actual range figures that both of these cars present, because I've always had issues with my Tesla in getting anywhere close to the advertised range. So this will be a great comparison, testing both cars, same time, same route, and all of that. So I think this will be an interesting video. And I'll also show you the unique features of the XC90 Recharge, because this thing is really impressive. Air suspension rides incredibly well. But let's go. So this car does have a lane keep assist feature. So what you do to engage it is press this, and then when you hit this over arrow, you can see it toggles between the car there, and then it shows having a hand on the wheel. Well, it just disengaged because we hit the brakes, but we'll re-engage it. And then when I hit the over arrow, this arrow, it shows having a hand on the wheel down there. Now, when they say put your hand on the wheel, they are not kidding. It likes to like bounce off the lane lines, and if you're on a sharper turn, it'll almost seem like it's going off the road, and then at the last second kind of bounces off the yellow lines. So it does have that feature. Autopilot is better in my opinion. It's a little more intuitive, but this is not bad. Just, you know, keep your hand on the wheel, and it's nice to have this support. And then just the dynamic cruise control, which you're steering, it has that feature as well. It just shows the car, and then you kind of steer wherever you want to. So it does have that feature, so it's nice that it has that. Folks, there's a lot of great cars out there, and sometimes I'm not sure which one to tell you to buy. But if there's one thing I'm sure of, it's these Into the AM t-shirts. This is the electric escape themed t-shirt. I co-designed it with Into the AM. They make quality t-shirts and hoodies at a good price. And if you use code Gjeebs at checkout, you can save 10% off at intotheam.com. You can see the EV ripping through the canyons, and you can even see the rocket ship cutting through the sky, and that's a reference to seeing a SpaceX launch on one of my road trips across the country. So go to intotheam.com and purchase a t-shirt. Your nipples will thank you. So there's a look at our drive modes. We are currently in pure mode, which is pure electricity. We only have 2 miles of range left, so we're at almost 35 miles we've gotten out of the battery, just the battery so far. And then it will go into probably hybrid mode after this, and we'll use regenerative braking to gain some back in the battery. You can see there it says B instead of D. If you pull the shifter back, it changes going from in drive mode to brake mode. So when I let off the gas and I'm just gliding, it's actually putting energy back in the battery. So Tesla has that as well with regenerative braking, but again, just something to note. We actually should add power back in as we're going back down the mountain. So we are 27 miles into the trip. I still have 11 miles of range on the battery. I've not used any gas yet, so it still shows 380 miles of range. Also, when I say cost comparison, I'm gonna do the cost per mile for each of these vehicles. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna get almost 40 miles of electricity out of the battery. We are also going highway speeds, but we're hitting some traffic. You can see I'm in traffic now. So we're not going like 70 miles per hour yet. We're going in the 60s, probably averaging somewhere in the 50 mile per hour range. So yeah, impressive performance, not used an ounce of gas yet. So the cost difference between the two right now is 0 because they both charge them up both at home. And I did top this off at the gas station before we left. It only took like 1.5 gallons. So far, so good. These seats, they're like heavily bolstered seats. There's a lot of adjustments you can make to them. I think they're made out of wool blend performance, it says. So I don't know if that's like used, if that's like whale blubber or something, you know, some, ooh, Kia EV6 smack, oh, with the WRX, jeez, bad accident there. We'll drive on, you know. That's called the bystander effect, I think. Everyone thinks that someone else called, and then those people are just stranded on the side of the road. So I just was an example of that. Continuing northward. You can also see here for battery usage, it says auto. So I'm just letting the car decide whether it's holding or charging. And again, just some actually really cool features. I don't like how small this display is. It's a little weird, but it actually has some really nice features to it. Just, I wish it was horizontal, kind of like everything else, but just my opinion. Another interesting thing in the infotainment, it says in-car air quality is good. It would be interesting to see what it would be like after I ate some Chili's and just fired a few off in here. That would be interesting. So yeah, what is that, parts per million, 2.5, good? What would a little methane do to that? Just a thought. Just set a world record for miles per gallon, 782, was it 1100? So we got 38 or 39 miles out of just battery power. We're starting to ascend into the heavens, as some say. Impressed about the battery performance out of this. Again, that's gonna be good for a lot of people's daily commute, dropping the kids off at school, going to work, going to a mistress's house. Who knows? I don't know what you people are into. You can see we have a heads-up display here. It's funny, the camera picks it up, but my sunglasses do not. So I'm looking at the windshield right now. Can't see the heads-up display, but looking at my camera, I can see it. Very interesting. We are out of battery. I put the car into charge mode. So when you look up here, there's a little lightning bolt next to the battery. So we're actually charging up. Interested to see how much we regain. This is a lot of uphill, so I don't know how much it's actually going to gain this way, but on the way down, it should. I retract my statement from earlier. I didn't have lane keep assist on, so I was playing around with the settings, kind of looking through everything. I did not have lane keep assist on. Now that I have that on and I'm in their drive pilot or whatever it's called, it's solid in the middle of the lane. So it's much better than I initially expected. I'll let you know if it's different on any of these bigger turns, but that's good. Also, like I mentioned, it does have an air suspension. There's a setting where the car will lower when you get out of the car. That way you don't have to jump down as far, so that's nice. You cannot adjust the air suspension while you're driving. Also, when you're in pure EV mode, the car automatically lowers itself so it can run more efficiently and sit lower to the ground, so that's a cool feature. But other than that, you can't really play with the air suspension much. I wish you could raise it to various heights like I can in my Rivian, so it's kind of limited. I would love if they came out with a software update that let you play with it more. And the other thing, this has Apple CarPlay, which is great, but it's wired. Hey Volvo, grow up, okay? We don't need to be on a leash anymore. Give us the wireless Apple CarPlay. There's no reason a car manufacturer in 2023, 2024 should be making cars that don't have wireless Apple CarPlay. So we need to grow up, let us off the child leash, right? And we'll become good children. So the XC90 Recharge, this color is denim blue. It's a beautiful color, and the car just has a lot of class to it. The 21-inch alloy wheels look great, and this car actually looks great with chrome on it, which is part of the Ultimate package. So there are 3 different levels to this car. It starts around $71,000. This specific model is $85,000. One of the biggest options on it is actually the sound system, the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. Personally, I don't know that that's really worth it to me. It has an air suspension at all 4 corners as an $1,800 option, which that's a no-brainer to me. The car rides great. It lowers when you get in and out of it, which is a nice feature. The other thing on the Ultimate package, again, the top end trim, you can get this wool blend performance seat. It's very stiff. Napa leather is standard what it comes with. I think I would recommend going with the Napa leather. I haven't sat in the Napa leather, but I can't imagine it being this stiff. Maybe you like this. I found it kind of uncomfortable. The bolstering is fine. It's just really hard to sit down on. So other than that, the trim and everything is really well done up front. What's interesting though is in the back seat here, I've never seen a vehicle that has this, but it has a built-in booster seat for kids, or maybe just, you know, some of your shorter friends, you know? You could play a joke on your shorter friends. Go, hey Mike, we got a seat for you. and you put him and you stuff him in this one and he sits up higher and he feels better, maybe. So that's interesting. This is also a 7-seater. You can get it in a 6-seater with just captain's chairs, so this would be eliminated. I think that's a really cool feature. Captain's chairs are one of my favorite features in vehicles that you can do it in, so I really like that. Here's a look at the cup holders, kind of a unique way that it sits like that. You have rear heated seats, so you can turn that on and off. So we'll go ahead and put this back and then it snaps into place. So on the manual, it did say for the rear of the vehicle, no one over 5'9" should sit back there, but I'll show you how to get back there. No one should sit back there so they can get back. That sounds like Kanye. We'll go ahead and fold that down. You can press the seat forward like you see. You just grab this bar. That slides it forward, and then grab this and the seat lifts so you can actually get space to hop in the back. So pretty good room here to hop in the back. Let's see what we got here. All right, so in the back, you got a cup holder. You got this little storage compartment here when your mom says, put your phone away and talk to your sister. So you have that. And you have an air vent here. Whew. We're up at 7,000 feet elevation, and I almost died right there. So we have this vent here to blow air on yourself. Let's see if I can actually pull the seat back. 6 feet tall. That's really tight. You could really only fit one person that's my height here. They're not kidding when they say 5'9". But yeah, I mean, you could slide this row up and that would give you some extra space, but then you're jamming them up. So good for kids, good for short distances. You can make it work for that. But for a long trip, yeah, you're not going to want to do this. So let's open the trunk up and see what it looks like with these seats folded down. Another unique feature here, this can drop the air suspension when you hit that button. So that way, if you're loading something heavy into the vehicle, it actually lowers it a little bit for you, or maybe your dog's old and you need it to hop up in the back, so that's what that can be used for. Also, even when the seats, when they're up here, you actually have a decent amount of room here. If you play golf, you're probably slipping your clubs in here with no issue. You got this storage compartment so you can store your charger, because it is a plug-in hybrid. So this is the charging cable that it comes with. And then when we fold the seats down, you got a ton of space, and I love that it sits totally flat. It's really nice carpet. I'm gonna be honest with you, what I was thinking as I was driving this up here, I was thinking, why would I get a Porsche Cayenne over this Volvo XC90? I sincerely mean that. It has the air suspension, has excellent quality. The only area that the Cayenne maybe wins is the infotainment system's better, but this is so well done, and literally at a fraction of the cost. Also, it comes with 312 horsepower from the gas engine in this, and then 143 horsepower from the battery, adding up to 455 horsepower combined and 515 pound-feet of torque. I mean, it's insane. I was coming up these curvy roads up to Jerome, and the air suspension handles everything well. It has a performance mode that lowers the air suspension, tightens up the damping and steering. It's just really well balanced and well priced when you compare it punching up toward like a Porsche Cayenne. So I'm just very impressed with this. I love that you can run it fully as an EV. That's also cool. But let's compare the Tesla Model Y and this for the road trip that we've taken so far to see how much range we used. So we started out with 380 miles of range, showing we got 28.2 miles per gallon, again, rated at 27, so we did well there. But it shows 240 miles of range right now, and we've driven 115 miles. It took a pretty hard hit. The Tesla started with 278 miles, I think. So let's see the Tesla. So Tesla got up to the top of the mountain still with 40% battery, so 112 miles of range. Let's see here. So started with 279 miles of range, 279. We drove 115 miles minus 115 equals 164 is what it should say. So it shows 112. So 52 miles off from what it was displayed to what it says. But let's check the Volvo. So 52 miles off in the Tesla. 380 is what it said. Drove 115 miles minus 115 equals 265. Okay, and it's displaying 240. So we are 25 miles off. So 25 miles and 52 miles off. So the Tesla was 52 miles off of what it projected our range should be up here, and this was 25 miles off. So yeah, you can see how the Tesla, for some reason, and again, Andrew and I were driving right behind one another, driving the same speed all the way up here, yet the Tesla was just more off. So that's where we're at right now. We're gonna head back down to Phoenix and get a full breakdown of the cost per mile between the both of these. Just crushed the Haunted Hamburger. This place slaps. Jerome is awesome. You can sit outside here. The view's insane. As you can see, that's Sedona in the distance. I highly recommend take a road trip to Jerome, Arizona. I should be paid to say this stuff, but I'm not. I should be part of the Jerome Historical Society. Cameraman's shoes untied. Here. Just put your leg through, gate gives out.
I become the haunted.
You are the Haunted Hamburger. We cook you. So yeah, I highly recommend coming to Jerome. 89A goes up over Mount Mingus. That's how you get to 7,000. That's how you get to 7,000 feet elevation. Those driving roads are incredible. Take a road trip in your Tesla. I got here with 41% battery, but we were driving like pretty subdued for how I normally drive. So yeah, highly recommend Jerome AZ. So I just did the voice command here using Google Assistant. It works very, very well. So as far as voice commands go, the Volvo is also excellent. I'm not like a huge Google fan, but it did work very well. The navigation is very clear. It shows you exactly where you need to go. You're not like, oh, do I turn here? Google Maps was very intuitive in the past. So that part of the car, the navigation seems to work well, and the voice commands are how they should be. So we actually gained a bunch of charge. We can see 7 miles now on the battery. I could probably have this thing fully recharged round trip, using it, recharging it, and then using it again. The regeneration works, and I think that that's also a great feature, being able to charge or hold the charge or whatever. So that worked out nicely. I keep going back on my word, and Volvo tricked me. The XC90 recharge is incredible. It's a Porsche Cayenne with a ton more value. I mean, it rides well. This sound system, earlier I said, I don't know if I'd pay $3,800. I'll tell you what, it's the best sound system I think that I've ever heard in terms of crispness. The music that I'm listening to, you can hear, I'm hearing things I never heard before in the song. Every intricacy that the artist put into the music is coming through this sound system. So if you love music, you will appreciate this Bowers & Wilkins sound system. It's so well done. I keep becoming more and more in love with how this vehicle drives, the utility of it. The performance is, the numbers are good. I put it in performance mode and floored it out of a roundabout. It took a while before I felt any type of power. You're not really getting any performance out of it despite the huge numbers. 0 to 60 is 5 seconds, but it is a pleasure to drive. It is a pleasure to be in. The screen is weird, but it's functional, and I think the more you own the car, you'll get used to it. But it's been an excellent car to have for this week. I'm happy to start showing some Volvos on the channel. This is my first press car from them. So Volvo, thank you very much. Great job on this. Yeah, this thing is money. I think it's a great value. At first, I looked at the price tag at $85,000, and that is a lot of money, no matter how you look at it. But for the people that are looking to purchase something in this price range, maybe they're looking at the Cayenne or whatever, wow, try this. Because the values here, you're not gonna have the huge maintenance costs of a Porsche or a Porsche, right? And the other thing is it's a plug-in hybrid, and you can run purely on electricity to cut down on some of your running costs using fuel. This thing's incredible, but we gotta see what the final tally is. Now, it seems like Andrew is gonna be able to make it back to Phoenix doing the whole trip on one charge with a full battery. So I'm interested, the 19-inch wheels with the wheel covers are what I put on it to make it run as efficiently as possible. So, bald eagles, there's an eagle on that sign, God bless America. So that would be crazy. That's gonna cut the cost per mile way down on this trip because it's only 14 cents per kilowatt hour to charge at home. So I'll show the price for charging at home, average supercharger costs, and then what this would cost to fill back up. So 160 miles into the trip, and this is a 10 out of 10. There we go, 320 miles of range. The battery says 0 and 245 miles traveled. So now I gotta go put gas in this thing to see how much fuel we use to get the efficiency and cost per mile.